welcome to the channel today, guys. Today we're going to be looking at an Old Faithful. Now this has been around for a little while. I did an unboxing review and actually an unboxing on this one recently, and I'll put a link in the description for that video. Today we're going to be doing a little fly around with this. This is the Syma X8HG. Now the HG traditionally came in a candy apple red. I found this one on eBay, and I'll put a link in the description for this quadcopter if it's still available, for like 48 bucks. I didn't have one in my collection. I wanted to add one, and now I'm going to be doing kind of a review, fly about the park here, and give you my final take on this. We're going to be using a modified Syma X8HG X8HC transmitter. Now, how is this modified? Well, let me show you guys here real quick. The modification just comes in the back here. I installed a 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi router antenna to this to extend the range. Now, I haven't had this thing to its full extent yet because, as you can see around you, I'm in kind of a residential area, but I do have a video on how I did this up on my channel, and I'll post a link for that as well so you guys can check that out. But basically what that does is that's going to extend our range on this quadcopter's flyability to probably 400, maybe 500 meters or more. I've had it up at least 300 meters. Oh, I'm sorry, I've had it up at least 400 feet, probably a little bit higher, maybe 500 feet, but I'm thinking it can do a lot better than that. I just don't have the area to test it right now, but I did notice a definite improvement over the stock variant of this with this antenna on there. So let's go ahead and get this thing set up and get ready to take off. Alright guys, pretty basic stuff with this. First thing we're going to do is turn the quadcopter on, and you can see we have flashing lights on all four of the prop arms. Syma got this one backwards. They got green in the back and red in the front, so Syma, going forward, please fix that if you haven't already. So let's go ahead and set this down on what I consider a flat level surface. Next thing we're going to do, guys, is go ahead and turn on our transmitter. Now I'm not going to mess with the camera right now. I'm going to roll some footage once we get the flyabout done here. I'm going to roll in some camera footage at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. Next thing we're going to do is go ahead and turn our transmitter on, and it's simply up and down to bind. And you can see the lights on the quadcopter, if you can see that, I hope you can, are all solid right now, red in the front and green in the back. Go ahead and calibrate the gyros by both sticks down and to the right. We got flashing, and that's calibrated. So now we can go ahead and start up the motors and get ready to take off. Starting up the motors is going to be both sticks down and in. And that gets our motors rolling here. And we can go ahead and take off. And you can see we've got the green light on the camera on, which means it's armed and ready to go. We'll check the altitude hold. Now we got a little bit of a wind here, so let's get this roll trim back this way. Let's bring her back. Try to get her to hover a little bit here. Trim. Alright, so we've got a hover, and this is our first speed rate. You can see the yaw, pretty docile, pretty slow. This quadcopter has two different speed rates. You can see the barometer's working pretty good today, guys. I'll bring her up just a little bit higher so you can see. Barometer's doing pretty good. That's a breeze taking it that way, so it's going to drift. This isn't optical flow, it's just barometric altitude hold on these. We'll go ahead and hit the second speed rate on top here. So we got two beeps, that tells us we're in second. Yaw rate stays a little bit, probably the same, a little bit, maybe a little bit higher, a little bit faster, but you can see the pitch is definitely a bit more now. So let's bring her up over here again. This one does do flips. It's such a clunky bird, you got to get, when I say clunky, I don't mean slow or anything like that. I'm saying it's a heavy bird. So in order to do flips on this, I'm going to take it up higher. And there's a front flip. Bring her in. There's a back flip, or that's a front flip again. Let's bring her farther into me here. Back flip. And we'll do a side roll. we'll bring her in a little closer and do the other side roll. And that's pretty much it for that. So I don't recommend doing a lot of flips with this thing. It's just such a heavy bird, and it's really tough on the motors. We'll go ahead and fly around the park a little bit here. Start some video. The Syma has been out for a few years now. I think this was released in probably late 2015, early 2016, as their altitude hold series of quads. It's the H series, which means height hold in Syma lingo. We can see we have flashing lights on the bottom, and that's not LVC yet, guys. That's just letting us know that we have video going now. But these quadcopters have been out for a while. They've been tried and true. I have several different Syma quadcopters right now, and the X8 series are among my favorites to fly. This is one of those quads, for me anyway, guys, that goes pretty much everywhere I go when I'm going out to fly. Rarely do I not take an X8 variant quadcopter with me. Now the new ones, the X8S series, I don't have those. I had seen enough videos to know that there's some issues with range on those new controllers, and I think you could bind them with this controller. But I haven't had any real interest, and they have a proprietary battery on those too, so that really didn't do much for me at either. But these are tried and true for me, guys. I've been flying these X8s for a while now. They just work. Bring it on my way, and you can see I actually customized this one a little bit. I've got red props in the front and the blue ones in the back now, just for kind of just so it's easier to see for me, really. When I get it up in altitude, I want to make sure it's easier to spot and keep orientation on this. Now this is a responsive bird, guys. These birds they fly well. With this modification that I've done on the transmitter, we're getting even more flyability, more distance, that type of thing. So I have nothing bad to say about this quad at all. For a beginner, I wouldn't recommend this one for a beginner. This is more somebody that's intermediate or looking for their, kind of a next step in quadcopters. This is, a beginner could fly this, but there's a lot of power involved here, guys. So you have to be careful. You have to know what you're doing. You don't want to bring this down too quick. This is one of those quads I should mention too, that it has a fail-safe, I guess you could say, an automatic cutoff, where if you were to take your throttle stick and hold it down, and for any period of time, this thing will cut the motors and drop out of the sky. I had that happen with an older quad I had. It was the X8HG, which was the camera version of this, camera only. This is the HG that has the GoPro style camera on it. But the other one I actually had up for, oh gosh, I must have had that up maybe 200 or 300 feet in the air, and I throttled down on it, held the throttle too long, and she came down like a rock. So that one is in the hangar right now. It's in pieces. Actually, part of that has been relegated to rebuilding an old X8HG that I recovered out of a tree a while ago. But yeah, so you can see this thing really flies nice. It's responsive to the sticks. She will do a little bit of a digger. And I wanted to keep this in proximity here so we can see it. So we'll bring her down. And we'll go ahead and do a punch. So she's up there a little bit now, probably 125 feet or so. But she's got a nice punch to her, considering what it is. And the range is good, guys. Range is real good on this one here. Take a couple of snapshots. Stop the video. Snapshot. Snapshot. Really nice and easy too, guys, with this with these red props and the blue ones in the back, red in the front. Really easy for me to. I could see, doesn't pick up on the camera, but I could definitely tell. I could definitely tell orientation with those red props right now. And we're going to bring her down, and I'll show you what I mean. So I'm not going to throttle down completely, a little bit at a time. She will come down. She's a heavier bird, and she will come down. You don't need to take that, you don't need to mash that throttle all the way down, because she'll drop out of the sky like a rock, guys. But yeah, that's it. I mean, you guys have seen plenty of videos of this particular bird out there now. She flies nice. She's easy to work on. Parts are readily available. And right now, at the time of this upload, this was $48 on eBay. And it's in the silver color. So you don't see a lot of these in silver. You're seeing a lot more of these in the candy apple red, which some guys prefer. But I think it's kind of cool that they made them in silver for a while. I don't know why. They might have had extra shells for the X8HG, which is actually the X8HG, which is the full manual version with the same camera on it. So I'm guessing that might have been what happened there. Get her up a little higher so you can see the contrast against the sky here. But yeah, so we'll go ahead and just fly her around a little bit yet, and I'll roll in some music. Alright guys, that was the Syma X8HG. Nice bird, guys, even for someone like myself that's been flying for a while. I'm happy to have this in my collection. It's available now on Amazon. It's available now on eBay. I picked this up on eBay for 48 bucks. Maybe it's still at that price. If it is, grab it right away, guys. Even if you've got other Symas in your collection, grab this. It's a great little bird. That's pretty much it, guys. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that like button. That is the thumbs up. Subscribe. See y'all in the next one, and God bless the Republic.